Today on my show, I have the fabulous Angela Foster, who is joining me, and we have so much in common that I cannot wait for you guys to hear everything good that's going on in her life right now. And gotta let you know, this is one of the #1 ranchers in the United States of America. She loves the books, the RancHER Stilettos book series.
Oh, Marcia. Oh, thank you for having me. First of all, I've been looking forward to this day to sit down and just chit chat with you about your awesome and incredible series of rancher books. I'm actually on the pre-rancher book and chapter 9.
The
Reading that
prequel.
at night. So I'm just excited to be here and talk with you today. Your writing is it's incredible and I'm loving it.
Thank you guys so much for joining me today. My name is Marcia Williams Cromer, and I want to remind everybody, please take time to like, share, and comment. We want to hear what you're thinking about the shows, and definitely want to try to make sure we're giving you the best content. Thank you. Good. Oh my God, you're Marcia. Oh my, I love your books. And that feedback on that day meant the world to me, because I just get myopic in my work, and what I need to do next, and all the different ways I'm trying to create this brand around the books. And I got to tell you, it was such a shot in the arm, and I really needed it that day. So thank you. I love you.
You're welcome. I kind of fanned out. I was like,
it was adorable.
As in my job, I see celebrities all the time. I don't ever fan out, but to be in that small space with you and to be able to let you know that, by happenstance, I was introduced to your books, and I just fanned out. After I left you, I was like, I hope I didn't scare her.
No, darling, no. It was a blessing. You blessed me on that day. I was in the building and just minding my own business, and you and I connected, and I wanted you to come on the show because I love talking about the books. I love talking about my characters. So tell me, who's your girl? Of the Dreamers, who's your girl?
Here's the thing. When I read, I kind of put the people I know in those characters, and you've touched on every girlfriend.
Pretty much everybody you know. Right, exactly.
Pretty much everyone I know. I do have to give it to Zaide, though. Her tenacity and her spirit of what you say, just reinventing herself. And I connected with her on so many levels. And then you also have that one girlfriend that everybody has, Charmaine.
Charmaine, yes.
Oh my goodness. I have that girlfriend. I just want you to know.
Okay, and that's the person that's serving up truth serum everywhere she goes.
Everywhere she goes.
No filter. She doesn't know any way to say it, but straight with no chaser.
Listen, and you did a book club last week.
Yes.
And I'm willing to bet you know which one was Charmaine in my book. And we've been friends for 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
No filter. Definitely.
Yes.
Center of the room, says what she feels, but she's got a heart of gold.
Is it Sybil? I know. I love her.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
One of my dearest friends.
And those people like the Charmaine types, and I'll give the audience just a little bit of background about her. She is that friend that's always game to go, your ride or die, if you will. But at the same time, a loose cannon, so sometimes you got to kind of navigate where you're going, because you can't always be no filter, but at the same time, how freeing is that?
Oh, it's just admirable.
Exactly. How free, and my friend, who Charmaine is loosely based on, is like that. If she sees you show up and she thinks maybe your hair isn't quite right, or it's surprising to her that you don't have it like together, like she's expecting you to have it together, she's got the look on her face says it all. What give you the once over and be like, what's going on?
What are you doing today?
Yes.
What is this?
Yes.
What is this?
But I think all of us can see a part of us in at least one of those characters. I will say, I get surprisingly people telling me that they don't really like Zaide, that Zaide is fickle in some sense, but I think that is part of what allows her to take chances, to make, they see it as being somebody who's like not necessarily grounded all the time, or could be fickle. But really what it is, I think, is she is bold. If something isn't working, why would you keep doing the same thing? And if it means you pivot and
Called
go to something,
insanity.
huh?
Called
Yeah, yeah,
insanity.
exactly, exactly.
I would agree. I would think, some people might read and think Zaide's a little bit of a doormat, a
Hmm,
little
hmm,
bit,
hmm.
but then she goes on to something else and totally reinvents the way she's living her life and
Right,
what's important to her.
right,
So
right.
I appreciate that character. But all of the women in the Dreamers are some kind of
They're
funny. I just
they're adorable. They're absolutely adorable. I mean, how could you not love them? And
oh yeah.
at the end of it all, they're all so different as well. And I think it's that difference in sisterhood that
Mhm.
as a whole unit, it makes it stronger.
It
You
does.
can count on one of them to be the strongest in at least one area of life that everybody looks to them for advice, right?
Exactly. And everybody needs that.
Yeah,
You need that girlfriend that's going to tell you the truth. You'll have the passive aggressive girlfriend, and then you have the other girlfriend who's elusive, and
right.
another one. The world revolves around her. So it just hit points that just struck me. So I really like
And
this.
I will say I love the fact that the story started out as just this vision of mine. I didn't realize it would be so seen as something empowering to women, but
Mm,
I'm seeing it as I go out and I'm talking to readers. Jayla is a character that's kind of under the radar. She's the quiet one
mhm,
until she does decide to speak, and then everybody's like, "Oh my God!" And the Jayla in our lives is the same way.
mhm.
She may not say anything all day, and when she finally does, everybody's like, "Okay, listen up," because she's getting ready to drop some knowledge because she really is very brilliant.
Yes.
She's in a marriage that she has kind of acquiesced to what would come every day, and then when
Mhm.
they decide to go in business together, you see the transformation in her.
Yeah.
That it was kind of a spark that she needed to take her power back, right?
Yes.
And it
The
wasn't
power.
that
That's it.
she was like unhappy really, she just wasn't living her purpose out. And I think that given the new venture, which was Dream Threads,
The
she
dream bed.
decides, wait a minute, she was starting to turn into the flower that she always was, and she liked that part of herself.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I can't tell you how many people I could correlate to those characters. It's just,
Right, right.
the
Let's talk
sister.
about the men. Tell me about
Mhm.
the men.
Please
Who are you?
do.
Oh girl, oh my God. So are you a Corey girl or are you a Lane girl?
I'm a Lane girl.
Okay, okay. I kind of think that over the series, I think initially there are people who are very much in the corner of Corey because he's got money. Not that Lane doesn't. Lane has means. He's not, a guy without means. But Corey is like at a different level.
Mhm.
And the things that he does along the way that are just so microaggression, where I think the first thing that I dropped in was how he hated Lane because he's jealous of him.
Very jealous.
And so I mean, who does this? Who goes and buys the company that this man works at just to be able to fire him because he feels that there's still a connection for Zaide with him. And my question is always, what would make her like him less after he got laid off?
Yeah. I guess as I was reading it, the word insecurity kept coming up to me in this person who I actually think she enjoyed better
Mm-hmm.
on a level of um uh, they got along better.
Right.
They were freer to be themselves with each other, whereas with Lane, it was more of, oh, it's a lustful kind of relationship, complete, just a lustful. And for some reason, we as women sometimes like that little bit of bad boy, and
Right. Right.
I
Right.
just. I think that's probably why I gravitated more to Lane character than anything. I don't know. And I kept
Well,
picturing as I'm reading, I kept going, okay, what does this person look like? Even though you were very descriptive, I was trying to put in who would be this one and who would be that one. Enjoyable reading to say. And actually, I'm passing these books on to my mom. My mom
oh my
is
God,
going
I
to
love
love them.
that. I love that. Oh my goodness. So is that the Rancher Before Stilettos behind
That's
you?
all four of your books, my dear.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think that as you get to the prequel, and I was at a show a couple nights ago in San Francisco, folks were asking me which one should I read first, and I'm like, duh, read the first one, book part one first, right?
Mhm.
And technically, you could skip to the prequel, but I think if you read the prequel last, then
That's
you
what I'm on.
understand why the transition is a major shift in the main character Zaide's life, right?
I'm starting to get into that. I'm in chapter 9 on the
Okay.
prequel, so
Okay, hey, no spoiler alerts. We're
do
just going to
not.
tell folks. Start with book one, where Zaide leaves New York and to go back to the ranch, and it takes her a minute to get acclimated. She's still wearing, her Louis Vuitton shoes around on the ranch,
Yes,
and her friend slash, best friend guy, who is the ranch hand Nash,
Mr.
is
West.
looking at her upside down, like,
Mr. West.
but do you not love Nash? I love Nash.
Do. I like him, and I have a friend like that. He's gay, but I love
Oh,
him.
yep, yep, yep.
I just like
And people have asked me, is Nash gay? And I'm like, no, he's not. And the
Mhm.
thing is, in fact, as I'm writing the first book, I had a friend of mine reading the book, and her name's Lawana. And she was just all upset because Nash was always in Zaide's business. Well, Zaide put him there. He didn't really ask to be there. And so she's complaining that he needs a woman of his own. So in the second book, I gave him a girlfriend and I
Yep.
named the girl Lawana.
That was
Just
that's where that came from.
yes, just to mess with her a little bit, a little bit.
But we all, I too, I love my gay friends because they're so honest, brutally
Mhm.
honest, and I learn more from them sometimes than I do my close girlfriend network. So
Right, right.
it's that honest and uh, excuse the term, but deep throat opinion from them. They really give it to you.
Yeah, yeah, no filter again, right? They're kind of
That's
all
again.
charmaises. They are
Mhm,
all kind of charmaises out there.
exactly. I
And
don't know what just happened. Maybe I'm moving too much.
hold on. So we talked about, the fact that Zaide is someone who is, really creating the life that she wants.
Hmm.
You see her also as a fearless woman in a lot of senses. That I mean, 'cause she's been through some stuff now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we, no joke, no joke at all. But she doesn't give up. The grit in her, and while I think she is very focused and very driven, I think she loves really hard. And even with the debacle of her, marriage, which, happened in New York, and she ends up getting divorced and coming back to Texas to start all over. The friends become kind of a soft landing for her. They're there to kind of walk her through, putting one foot in front of the other, which we all need sometimes, right?
Yes. Mhm.
And then as she meets other people, I think she's still open to trying new relationships. She's interested in that. But on some level, she's still tied to Lane. No matter who she, connects with, the guy that she dates in New York and won't, she didn't marry him or anything. They had a really close relationship. He keeps coming back trying to get her back. So my
Yeah.
question to you is what okay. You ready? Are you okay?
Okay. I have a
Yeah,
question,
you
I get
drifted.
this
You
one.
drifted.
Okay.
Okay. So my question to you is, what do you think? Where do you think that fearlessness would come from as you've read the books?
Where do I think it comes from? For her or for
Uh,
in my own life or
no,
just
no. For both actually. Based on your own life, where do you think it comes from?
the longing to belong? I see Zane reaching for something. If it's not perfection in the business world, um, where she travels to, which is back home, seeking whatever level of love she can get there and
Right,
reconnecting with her girlfriends and that being her circle of peace. In my own life, I've lived, I grew up in the Buffalo area in Lockport and then traveled to Kansas City in my middle school years, having to adapt to that. Um, with this career of travel, every place that I've lived, I've had to figure it out,
right, right,
um, and find some kind of solace in where I'm at in life. Girlfriends are a huge part of that. I
right,
have circles of girlfriends, like from grade school to middle school to my coworkers, which we call cohorts, to my college friends and to my later life friends, and within my club, my ski club, it's just about that cohesiveness for me that makes me comfortable where I'm at. And I kind of got that with Zane as well. It's just like she wants to be comfortable where she is. She also wants to be powerful. She wants to be recognized. She wants to be, all these things. Um, but I think that comfortable part of going back to Lane, it's
Mm.
icing on the cake. She always has
Yeah,
a soft place to land, in other words.
yeah. I think that deep down, first of all, that and the books reveal they've been through some life challenges together.
Mhm.
Uh, but I think the new guy Corey that she meets, and actually through work, but becomes a partner of theirs in their business. I think he provides some security initially,
Okay.
and I think after a while she realizes that she doesn't want the type of security that he is offering, which
Mm,
really is rooted in control.
mhm.
Yeah, I think that
Bit of a narcissist.
yep, and I think he's crazy about her. I don't deny that. I really, really think he's crazy about her. But I do feel that his natural tendency is to play most of his life out as a power play. And as a woman that has a mind of her own and ambitions of her own, I think that was a bit overwhelming for
Mhm.
Zaid. And I think that as many women, we find ourselves not wanting to be placed second as just because we're girls, and we can stand side by side and be partners, whether it's in work or home or whatever.
Yes.
But you know what I mean? And I think that
Mhm.
I like the fact that she embraces the girl side of her and the male side of her,
Oh,
because
yeah.
yeah, she's not afraid to walk in the boardroom, and she's prepared when she gets there. Yeah,
I can relate to that. As a single mother, I can totally relate to I wanna be girly, in my relationship, but I also had to step up
yeah,
and
yeah.
be the tough one.
Well, and the other thing about her that we both love is the fact that she loves to travel,
Yeah.
and we love to travel.
Yes.
Well, and when I met you and you talked about the ski club, I want to hear all about that. What's
Oh,
going on with that? I
that is,
want to know. I can't ski, by the way, but like I said to you before, I'm the girl that's at the lodge with with the brandy, the toddy.
and I'll be honest, at first I thought that's what I was all about too, but enjoy the mountains. When you talk about
It's
peace
beautiful, yeah, out there.
and fearless joy,
Yeah,
in the mountains, these massive mountains, there's this peace that overcomes you sometimes. For me anyway, especially, and I am a person who is ironically afraid of heights. But I can travel to a mountain and that crisp air and the feeling of being free,
right.
and in an environment where they don't expect us to be at.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, tell me the name of your ski club again.
Sugar and Spice Snow and Social Club Incorporated.
Oh, wonderful! I love that. And how long have you been a part of it?
Since 2014, I held 3 years of well, 3 terms of president in the club,
Okay.
and then it's carried me on to, being a Summerfest chair, which is a summer trip fundraiser that we take for Eastern Region, and then now, as of last year, I have become the executive secretary of the entire NBS,
I
which
love
is National Brotherhood of Snow Sports.
I love
So
that. And
mhm.
these are Black folks that are out there skiing
These are Black folks.
and having a great time. And I think about my first experience trying to ski. And of course, I was a poser. I just had the outfit on basically. And then I took it one step further and I went to a class and I was with little kids, because it's like that's where I started. That's where I
Mhm,
need to
mhm.
be. But the kids were vicious, girl. They're like, "Oh my God, you're so big. Why are you out here?" I was like, "What is your mama?" It was just awful. And
Yeah,
then
they can
I
be
was worse
vicious.
than all of them. I mean,
Yeah, they can be vicious, especially those little snowboarders come whizzing past you, and you think you're doing something, and here they are whizzing past you. Some of them doing tricks and jumps. But I tell you, the entire organization, NBS, the goal is to identify children of color who can actually compete in the world of snow sports.
wonderful,
We need
wonderful.
to see, children of color more on the Olympic stadium, and we're getting there
Yep,
my
yep.
stuff. We're getting there. But our club in particular, which is an all-female virtual club, we actually fundraise through the year for 2 different things. One is for the youth. We have a youth program. We're actually fundraising right now. Thank you very much, by the way, for supporting. We get a chance to take the kids to whatever programs that are available. Like Winter for Kids, which is in Jersey. We've been to Manchester, New Hampshire, and to North Carolina with kids that we boot them. They get their lessons, and they experience what they normally would not be able to experience. And that in itself is a feeling of power.
Right,
um, you get the feeling that you're doing something good for your own community, or the communities that surround you, for children of color who might not get the opportunity to ever ski, and to
Right.
see that it raises their self-esteem to a level of, oh my goodness, I just skied down a mountain, or I just, this task I just accomplished. It is a feeling, Marcia, in you. That's how it grabbed me. I was in it for being in the club, but once we got involved in the sugar and spice, and we were taking these kids up, it just did something inside of me. Like I knew I was doing something right, and um, I could take this a little bit further. So
Right.
that's
Exactly.
where I'm at. I say, if you have an interest in just being in there, get in there, walk in there like you own the place. You can look cute, you can be with your girlfriends, but take the lesson,
Right.
enjoy the moment, and look around you and notice there's not many of us out there. So
Question:
to
where are you going to ski? I know. I
I
assume.
have a full schedule this year.
Okay. Well, I'm
My
assuming some of the locations are in the
Yes,
states, but are we going abroad
I've
as well?
yes. So just in December, the first week of December, I'll be in Val d'Isere, France for a
Girl,
week.
Hayden, Hayden, that's home.
I know that's home for you, but we'll be skiing at Val d'Isere. We're there the same time that they're having the FIS a men's slalom race, so we'll get a
Okay.
chance to see some professional racing while we're there.
Right.
And we leave there and we head to Steamboat Springs, Colorado for a week. And then Martin Luther King weekend, we will be in Lake Tahoe.
Nice.
I have a ski trip planned for what we're calling is BOGO, bring one, groom one.
Okay.
So you
Good.
can
I
bring a
love that.
friend. You can bring a friend and show them the ropes of skiing from beginning to end, meaning suiting yourself up, getting out there and knowing what's happening.
Okay.
And
When is
then
that trip? That's the trip I do.
that's in April. That's the end of the season. You'll have to be my guest.
I'm down. I'm
And
down.
I got to tell you, the instructors will be women from our club that have
Okay.
level 1, 2, and 3 skiing and snowboard certificates. So that is a great program. And I'm looking forward to that in April.
I love that. I love that. My last question to you is: I know we both kind of bonded also over a mutual love of travel. Where's your favorite place? Where's your happy place? France is mine.
I've been to so many. Being a flight attendant, that's kind of hard to say. Work wise, my favorite overnight would be San Diego. And I really am not a fan of California.
Right.
However, San Diego it's just
And of
peaceful.
all the places in the world, I just knew you were going to say some major exotic place,
I was
Bali,
going to tell you
somewhere.
my international is going to be Egypt. When we went to
Oh, yeah.
Egypt,
And that's someplace I have not been.
my
Egypt.
son, my son and I, we actually had a chance to go to Egypt about 5 or 6 years ago, and I told him when we were leaving, I said, "I'm coming back here."
Right.
We went, we did all the touring and all of that. It was just one of those places that you wanted to know more about.
Right.
Why
Yeah.
is there such a separation between the Egyptians and the Africans, and our history and the Ankh and
Right.
the alabaster, and all these stories that are in the great book.
Right.
I want to know more about that. That struck me the most. So Egypt, I would definitely have to say I would love to go back to Egypt and spend some time. Now, in my heart of hearts, which I've only done a winery, and it's because I had 17 hours on the ground coming back from Egypt, is Italy. And I've told my mother since I was a little girl, I love Italian food. I love
Oh, yeah.
Italian wine. I love Italian shoes. I love Italian clothes.
Yeah.
I have this love of Italy, and I have not gone yet. And I need to make it there. And when I make it there, it's not going to be just for a week. I'm going to have to stay a month.
Yeah. It takes time because you know what? It's so much diversity just like from one city to another. You
Mhm.
almost feel like you're in a different country almost. I mean, they have
Oh, yeah.
connecting things, but the South down by the Mediterranean, I'm not really a water person per se. I do
Mhm.
love
Me
being on
either.
the water,
Mhm.
but I felt it like it's such a peace there, and we were just like sailing around one day, and I
Mhm.
were telling my friend who I was with on the trip, I'd always wanted to be on a sailboat on the Mediterranean. And
Oh,
it's
wow.
a bucket list thing that I got to check off, but I had really kind of forgotten about it. And then we're there and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This is like big. This is huge. And it was just a really small group of us out on the water and having a great time. And the pictures that we got to take are just extraordinary.
I can
Yeah.
imagine. I see it a lot. A lot of friends have been, and I actually just have a mutual an acquaintance that lives in Canada, and she just did 3 weeks in Italy. And I was looking at her pictures, going, "I'm going to get there. I'm going to
Yeah.
get there." And I'm not one to actually say that I have a bucket list, because I believe if you have a bucket list, you're really not living.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I appreciate it. Yeah, and again, I forget about mine most of the time anyway.
Yeah, you just gotta do. You just gotta go put it
Or
to,
yeah, yeah,
"Hey, this is where I'm
yeah,
going," and do it, you
yeah.
know?
And if I were to say bucket list, everything is on it, you know?
Mhm, mhm,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You wanna
There's
see
probably no,
everything. I
yeah,
can't wait. We're actually going to London first for 3 days, and then we will fly into Geneva and then take the bus up to Val d'Isere. So I'm looking forward. That's a trip of a lifetime. I
absolutely.
spared no expense. I'm just like, "Okay, this is it. I gotta do it."
And I love seeing, my people enjoying life. You've worked hard. It's just getting the passport. Just get the passport.
Yes.
World
Everybody should have a passport.
from day one,
My
right?
grandchildren have passports. I cannot wait to start taking them all over the place.
I can remember being on trips and seeing like babies on the trip, and I was like, good for them. They
Mhm.
will they will get introduced to the world sooner than I did, right? The other thing too is just the way travel opens your mind about the world that we live in, and you do
Martha.
start to feel like a part of something bigger than just your town. It's and then see how much more we do have in common, and that we have that's different.
I wish so much, our people would realize that when you travel, you're not in America.
Right,
And to be pompous about being an American in another place, it's sometimes disturbing to me, but I
yeah,
kind of give people
just
a
wrong.
grace. But that's that point where you want to share a teachable moment and say, but we're not in Texas
No,
anymore.
no, no.
You're here. You're here.
That's right. And these people have been here longer than our country existed.
Exactly.
Uh, so
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, and it doesn't make you feel smaller. It just makes you feel a part of a bigger community.
Yes.
Yeah, and my expectations when I leave are not my expectations of things here at home, because that's just not the reality. If
Mhm.
someone is maybe curt or rude to me, I don't look at it and say, "Oh, they're rude over here as a people."
Yeah,
No,
no.
these people just met me. Why would they be mad at me about something?
Yeah.
Life is happening to all of us every day. So I'm like, they're just lifing. That has nothing to.
Right. And you'll find yourself pleasantly surprised. I can think of places like we were in Japan, and the people were so willing to help us get around.
Right, right,
You know, they weren't looking at you strange. They knew you weren't from there. They knew you were trying to get somewhere. I mean, as someone who could not even speak the language to
right,
me, pretty
right.
much led my girlfriend group to where we needed to go, so we weren't riding the same train around in a circle.
Oh my God. Oh,
Yes.
that's hilarious. It's like those times that I can remember getting lost, because
Mhm.
some of my most fond memories, because I had to figure it out. I mean, and once I got lost, I was in Greece and got lost from some friends that I was on a tour with. And I was like, well, I'll just get a, ticket back home. It's no big deal. Just go home. Well, I left my passport on the bus.
Oh my.
And fortunately, the group found me they were all looking for me, so it made it easy. But it was a lesson for me. And now when I travel, I'm never separated from my passport. Never.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't have anything else on me at that moment or while I'm traveling, I've got to keep my passport, because
Yeah.
that is your ticket to move through different countries.
Listen, my boyfriend tells me all the time, "Put that away. Put
Right.
that away.
Right, right. I
Put that away."
traveled with some friends who hadn't all of none of them have really traveled a lot, and I was the carrier of all passports, because
Yeah,
I'm
he
like,
doesn't
no, no.
he doesn't trust me with the passports. At least his. He'll give me mine back, and he'll keep his, and be like,
Okay.
"Put that away. Put that away."
I want to toast you so for coming on to the show. I love you, and I'm so so glad our paths crossed. And I look forward to hearing more and more about your adventures and joining you on some of them. But
Oh,
oh
yes.
my God, and I thank you so much for being a rancher. I just
Well,
love you.
I enjoy being a rancher. I looked for my T-shirt today to put it on.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I have a
Could
friend
not find
who
it.
won't even wear her. She can't even open it out of the bag. She thinks it's so wonderful. And they really turned out lovely.
Well, let me ask you, what do you see the next book, being about?
So, good question. The next book will be obviously a completely different story. I
Oh,
have been with Zaide for 5 years now.
okay.
And I think with the prequel, I accomplished some things in wrapping it up and putting a really good bow on it.
Awesome.
But I will tell you, the urge to get back into a new series is there.
Okay.
But what I'm finding is it's like opening a bottle of wine. You
Mm.
give it some time to breathe. Yeah, you got to give it some time to breathe. And while I'm still like a friend to this series, it's hard for me to just like put it away because I'm marketing it. it's hard for me to put it away because I'm marketing it. And on tours and talking about it all the time, even though I'm not in the writing process right now. But I am getting that itch. I'm not sure what, approach I'll take, but I'll keep you posted. And I may even ask you for some advice as I'm, going through that thought process of what the next book or series of books looks like.
Maybe we can get you in the mountains and you'll get a little bit different
inspiration.
Some kind of inspiration from that.
I love
that. Would be amazing. Well, Marcia, it's been a pleasure. I cannot wait to gift my mother with these books. Now I want my books back, but I'm going to let my mother read them. My mom's the type that likes a little bit of
Well, you've read it, and as I say, it's rated G for grown. So
she loves the grown book, should I just say? So it's a little saucy sometimes, just like think she'll like that a lot. So I will give her those so she can read those. They're good reads. They're good and quick reads. So
they really are. They're easy read, and it's actually kind of divided up where you don't see a big book that you have to try to wade through. I think it's easy to take on a trip to read. So again, I will probably keep that same kind of process in the future.
Awesome.
So thank you so much.
You're so welcome, Marcia. It was a pleasure.